Hi there guys, welcome to this week's episode of Van Haven TV. Alec and I are going to show you this. So it's only right that Alec is here because this is, along with Martin, this is your brainchild, man.
Well, I'm going to be honest, this is Martin's brainchild. I was simply the facilitator. So, as you probably tell, Martin came to us with a load of ideas, and I think probably my job was just containing those, if anything, and then actually channeling that into what we see today.
There is an awful lot on here that hasn't been done before, industry first, things that we've had to invent and create. I think it'd be really good just to bring those out slowly. The first thing I would like to talk about is those.
Right, so we have, since Jesus was a child, offered bigger brake kits from other manufacturers, and we thought, let's give it a go.
Jesus was a child.
Since Jesus was a child, or as long as Van Haven's been trading anyway. So big brakes, painted calipers, it's a big thing in the transporter world, and we thought, let's give it our go. Let's have our system, which we have spent months developing.
Yeah, far too many months. This is the first set, by the way.
This is the first set of the Van Haven big brake kit, and I mean, compared to the other brake kits that we put on our transporters,
it's
how much bigger would you say they are?
25%, if not more.
Yeah.
These are developed by Brembo and 6-pot megas with the biggest vented disc. They're just absolutely horny. Looking behind these Saturn RF1s, Alec, we're using these wheels a lot.
We are. I mean, we've again offered lots of wheels, and the Riviera range and the RF range specifically seem to be really, really popular. And Martin's been probably one of the first. And since this van's sort of gone on socials and Martin himself has put the van out there, we're having a load of inquiries, and a lot of builds that we've done very, very recently have piggybacked off the back of that, and I think they look absolutely stunning.
That is how you stance a vehicle correctly. That's the right size wheel, right offset, right brakes, right height, lowered, the carbon in the satin with this PPF paintwork on this pure grey. That, in my opinion, and I think the majority of the transporter world will agree, that's porn in the van derivative.
It's all created. It's playful, it's fun, it's big, it's better, it's brash. It's everything you would want in a transporter like this. Let's show you what this van's all about now. From the outside, our B2 Stealth pop top, full TTRC carbon, but what I'd love to do is show you some of the things that make this van and Martin's vision very, very different. Come inside. I know, look at that. It's unbelievable, isn't it? So,
every time.
This might be the best we've ever done.
Oh, it's so comfortable.
It's lovely, isn't it? So full caravel setup, and we'll go through some of the other bits and pieces. But again, I think the first thing I want to show you is just the leather. Look at these seats.
It feels epic.
Yeah, well, it's Napa leather.
Yeah,
now,
super smooth.
Yeah, now when Martin came in, Martin and JP came in, and we were going through different colour combinations, and I won't begin to tell you some of the colours that we experimented with. We took the leather samples outside, we matched them up against other pure grey vans just to see what would really work. And it was actually Sam, Mrs. Flowers, hope you're watching, who came up with this sort of colour combination, and it just worked. So you've got that navy Napa leather with the orange piping and dress stitch.
It feels really expensive in here. Do you know what it reminds me of? Yeah. It reminds me of like a really expensive version of the Golf colours. You know, like the Tag Air did that lovely watch.
Yeah.
Which is like in the Golf. It just feels freaking epic in here. And the idea on paper, I'm gonna have a carbon wrapped, crazy bespoke blue leather that I've never seen anything this colour blue for. I don't know where you must have got this leather from, Alec, but it's beautiful. With orange dress stitch, orange piping, and an orange belt, you would go, Jesus Christ, that's brave. But you know what? I think it's my favourite interior I've done for a very, very, very long time.
It really, really works. And again, with the carbon backs on the seats and the you know, the mid-tone grey Alcantara. It's a stunning place to be. So Martin wanted this to be the absolute pinnacle of luxury for himself and for transporting his family around.
Kids.
Yeah, so now this is a very first, certainly a first for us, and I'm pretty sure this is a first in the UK where we have fitted air conditioning in the back of a Transporter.
Let me add that to that though, because there are many air conditioning systems in the back of Transporters.
And they're not all created equal.
Correct. But this is slightly different, so may I digress?
You may.
It was a massive undertaking, unlike anything we've ever done before, because not only are we retrofitting the AC system into the rear of the van, but it also needed to be plumbed in whilst having a stealth roof, which is the most slimline roof on the market, without affecting any of the headroom. And it had to work off grid for how many days?
3. And I must add, when we originally went into this brief, the roof wasn't a consideration. So, Alec, can you do air conditioning in the back of a van? Oh, I think we're prototyping it. Yeah, we can do it. We were in the midst of R&D.
We can do that, yeah.
Alec, I'm now thinking about a roof.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, which is what we did. Now, there was another first on here, which is only a little first, but something we're doing now. So, with the Stealth pop top, we've never Alcantara'd the actual sides, and that is new.
Well, these halos are completely different to normal. I prefer them. They're much thicker, they're much more substantial. I really like these lights in here that we've gone for.
And we've taken those from the Shillingston.
Yep.
And what we've had to do is retrofit all the pipe work. So you've got all these vents throughout, vents all the way back there, and of course a control panel here. There's a bit more to show you.
Gosh, everything
with regards
just feels
to that.
very nice, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
Like that.
You've probably noticed a few switches your side as well.
Yeah, I was playing with these. These telling me this is for the Apple TV.
So we went for the Smart TV and Apple TV. Now, one of the other things that we've been able to do and incorporate, which one thing Martin really wanted, was a 5G router, which is positioned in this beautiful bespoke cabinetry that Andy has put together. I don't know if you can catch that in there.
It's just there, but even the roof up here's Alcantara. Oh, and I like how he's done the hex board fits for the roof.
Yeah, so
this is awesome because this has got a couple of trick bits on here, right? So I know, sorry, just to interrupt. This doodah here, there's another one under the engine bay. You know what these are for?
Tell me, tell the public.
Right. Martin's had these installed. These are so wherever Martin is in the world, he knows what temperature the inside of his van is. But we've also got one under the engine bay as well, so we can check that temperature. That then all runs off that thing, the G3, G4, G5G router.
You're getting there?
Yep.
Yeah, we again connects with the Apple TV, so he's got streaming completely off grid.
That then does that.
Which we'll go into in a little bit when we go around the back of the van as well.
And then we've got the Shillingstone.
Yeah, so
camper van.
We wanted a little bit of privacy, as Martin did, especially if they're going to be off grid, sleeping in the van and that sort of thing. And we were going to opt for some van shade blinds. But in terms of with the panelling and just the fit and the finish of making this quintessentially about as Van Haven as it gets, we have adapted our blinds that we put in our Shillingston and applied them to this van here. And I just think the result versus what would have gone in had we not taken these steps.
Oh, it's massive. It's such a difference.
It's a completely different feel.
Also noticing a focal system in the sliding door.
Absolutely.
Big speaker in there. That is something
huge.
that is...
And that is something that developed through the build. Knowing primarily that this is a seat setup, those speakers would have been covered by the seat. So we've actually brought those
that's why they're
more
brought into
central
the middle of the van,
versus some of our other builds. Simply so we've still got audio which is directly connected to the TV.
This is all soundstage. Creating that kind of big audio feeling. So the soundstage is where you sit within
yes, absolutely. We've got a bigger amp. I think a DRC controller's gone in there. It's about as good as, it is the best sound system we fitted.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I've listened to it. It is absolutely banging. I think it's probably time to look in the business end.
Absolutely, and this is the show-stopping piece. So, the business end. Now, I will confess that when we talk about electrics and power systems, that sort of thing, I know enough, but I don't know as much as you, and I don't think you know as much as Martin. He had such a grasp, take on what he wanted, that this was very much driven by him, created by us. Now, I'm going to talk about the bit I'm comfortable talking about, which is
grill.
Which is a really nice grill. This stretch carpet here. Talking about the housing of the unit. Now, Martin came up with the idea that he wanted a false floor, okay? Because he knew that we're going to need an awful lot of space for the power system he wanted, but he still wanted it to be usable. So he didn't want anything to slip down the back, but he also wanted to be able to get suitcases in to go abroad. That was the whole point, that he could enjoy this. So it'd be great having a wonderful vehicle, van to go and travel in. But if you had to tow a trailer with the suitcases in the back, it was sort of a bit of a false economy. So we did a lot of measuring, a lot of jumping in and out of vans, and this is what Andy and the team came up with. So again,
Can I just interject?
you can.
Because you're on a roll, right? A couple of points. That rear bed caravel system, it still folds down flat.
It does, and that was the whole point. Now, so it still folds flat.
Did I just steal your thunder?
You did. So, but anyway, Ollie's not used to doing that on videos. We all know that. So it still folds flat to a level. Now, one of the other things, and this is why it's been so great having Martin's input, and again, Andy and Grant in the back as well, is the fact that we've managed to, again, completely flat that out. In here, we've made use of every single bit of space. So we've got the Jack and toolkit in there.
Again, in that beautiful blue with the orange stitching, lovely.
Absolutely. And again, on the top, we want it to be usable. So we've even got some cargo tie downs here. So knowing full well that it is phonetic board, as it were. And again, probably not that much of, well, a little bit of grip. But again, to have those cargo tie points as well means it's as functional and usable just as a floor.
This is taking SUV to a whole new level, because that's a sports utility vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Or a van if you want one of these. This is hardcore stuff. You'll see this everywhere in the industry at the moment. It's a lovely, lovely product to work with. It does actually look really quite nice as well. But this box is hardcore. So for Martin's cases, shopping, day-to-day.
For his business as well, where he takes samples and
We don't have to be gentle with this, do we? This is a proper strong.
Let's not destroy it either, but
But it's hard too, genuinely.
It is. It's beautifully crafted, it's beautiful design, and it's robust as well. And again, because this is an absolute first, not just the air conditioning, which you can see is beautifully housed in here, which again, looks like it could have come out the factory like this, but this here, and I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about inside, because this is where I get a little bit out of my depth.
Okay, no
Shall
problem.
we lift up?
Yep. In here is loads of power that Andy did and Martin designed. That is as much as I know, because that is so technical and so mental. I will open it.
Well, can I talk through some little design bits then? Now, in terms of the absolute monster of a power system in here, which has been designed to go off-grid for a full 3 days, where you can have the air conditioning running, you can be watching your favourite show on Apple TV, you can be streaming online, you can be doing all those bits and pieces. But to have that functionality and to have this beauty, I actually think that's just beautiful to look at. Now, I'm going to call out a couple of people here. Grant, your wiring is absolutely beautiful. If you can see how beautiful this is, and I can't believe I'm saying that about batteries, wiring, powers, inverters, that sort of thing.
Do you know that Victron, the blue of Victron, is becoming such a flex within the entire van world? So not just for a top-end super van like this, but also to a humble living vehicle, and everything in between. The blue is becoming...
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Sorry, I was interrupting. The wiring.
So,
Grant.
It's beautiful. Now, one of the other things we were really conscious of as well, by having all this power and having all the seats, having some ventilation as well. So, as you'll be able to see, is some 4 fans here, but one of the lovely little touches that Andy did, we 3D printed some Van Haven covers. If you can see that there, I don't know if you can see that detail, but that little touch just, to me, blew my mind. That
the little big things that, with all the other challenges that we faced in bringing Martin's vision to life, we still had the wherewithal and the thought to think, do you know what, we'll go that extra mile, which I just think is amazing. So kudos to Andy and Grant for that. Absolutely, and this is a push me pull you ventilation system, because that obviously can create some heat and it's all ducted out. But did you know that the pull ones as well as the push ones, which you can't see unless you put your head in here, have a look at the fan on the pull. You're not even going to see it. It's what we do. You're not even going to see it. We're there like that. And I didn't even notice that because I was so attracted to me neither. I literally just went in and was like, oh bloody hell, he's even done it there. It is. I just genuinely love it all. It is all beautifully done. It looks the absolute dog's bollocks, which is what it is. It looks as cool as it is. And as you can see, the 6 plaques, so the 6 Van Haven souls that worked on it, and there were a lot more than 6. Yeah, so the people's plaques who are on here are Rob Williams, Tom Hillen, Daniel Allen, Granty Boy, Jackie Boy, and this guy, Andy Fear. But I must say, everyone in the business was involved with this. And I genuinely mean that. In some way, shape, capacity or form. They're the 6 plaques that got on there, but absolutely everyone was involved. And this really was a coming together of minds. And there were certain elements of this build where we even had a couple of customers wanting to buy and go, God, tell me about that, who threw an idea in, which I was then able to perhaps bounce off one of the design guys, even bounce off Martin. This van has been such a talking point, externally, internally, now online. Martin has a couple of growing social media accounts dedicated to this van. And we're just so proud to be a part of it. And I know we haven't talked about all the other stuff that's on this van that to every other van would be special, like the B2 Stealth Carbon Pop Top and the full satin wrap. You know. The kit, the suspension. He's touched on brakes and wheels because they were right there at the beginning of the video. But what this van also represents is camaraderie, teamwork, pushing the limits. Van Haven, we do innovate, we do create, we're very good at that, and then we're very good at getting copied, which is very humbling. But at one point, no, not at one point, at many points in the build, it would have been way past everyone's bedtime. Everyone's still huddled around this thing, working hard, working as a team, eating pizzas, coming up with solutions. Not in your van, by the way, Martin. At times, they were eating pizza in your van, but they had nothing in it. We were like right at the beginnings, and it's the word camaraderie between client, brand, and team. It just was something to behold. And you know what? The workshop we redlined our workshop for 6 months. We had so much work to do, and the workshop guys have put 110% effort in for 6 months. We then throw this into the build. Now, when you've got a group of people, and you will all know, because you're all humans, when you've got a group of people who have been working really hard, smashing it out, and then they get this, it's daunting. But it did completely the opposite to being defeatist. Is that the right word? Yeah. Whatever. It literally pulled the energy into that workshop. This van, This van's such a big deal for us for all the reasons that Alec has just said, but also for what it's done for us as a brand, for our vibe and for our passion. And for that, Martin, we thank you, mate.
Thank you, and I would like to take this opportunity as a member of Van Haven to thank all the souls that went in on this build, all the names you see there. And Martin, thank you for giving us as a group of people and a company the opportunity to build something that we are truly, truly proud of. Thank you.